Hi guys. Today we'll be discussing Schyzocotyle, also known as the Asian fish tapeworm. Well, to identify the Asian fish tapeworm, the United States Geological Survey says that it can be identified by its uniquely fleshy arrowhead or heart-shaped skullet. So that is the head region. It has a heart-shaped skullet with a relatively underdeveloped terminal disc here and two anterolaterally directed bullithera, or slit-like openings. One on this side. There's also one on the other side, but you can't see it in the picture. This is then followed by proglottids. So it has no neck, and it has these body segments instead, these proglottids. Why does the Asian fish tapeworm, or who does the Asian fish tapeworm infect? Well, it's very, very common on the common carp, Cyprinus carpio, and just in general, very, very common in any Cyprinus fish species. And so that's where it started, but because it has a extremely low host specificity, it can be found in so many more fish species, and it makes it extremely parasitic and super adaptable, which is a problem. The location of the Asian fish tapeworm, well, it started out in East Asia, as its name indicates, Asian fish tapeworm, and it's now in all but one continent, which is Antarctica. So it's moved because it was very common in bait fish, and we brought bait fish over from that country and those countries, and have spread this parasite all over the world, except for Antarctica, because we don't take the bait fish there. So it's been found. It is known. We don't know what species it's unknown in. We only know the known species. So it's known in 312 fish species and 11 non-fish species. So I saw there was dog host, a horse host, human host, and fish host, along other ones too. And the reason why it's a problem, and I'm looking into it because I live in Pennsylvania, is that it's there's a huge infestation of it in the Great Lakes. And since Lake Erie borders Pennsylvania, well, that's not great. The Alberta Invasive Species Council, which is in Canada, explains that it has so many, these are only a few, it has so many different scientific names. Currently, it is the Schyzocotyle acheilognathi, or that you saw on the right here. It is this. And it has an indirect life cycle, which we discussed in previous lectures, that it means it has an intermediate host. So, and the last thing to note is it is hermaphroditic. So because each proglottid has a male and female part, it can produce an ample amount of eggs. These eggs then are released in the fish poop, and then they hatch, and the larvae exit through the operculum, which are then eaten by copepods, and then the infected copepod, the intermediate host, is eaten by the fish, and the cycle starts all over again. And it's super duper effective, but not good for the host. So how does the parasite actually impact the host? Well, it competes for nutrients. So it's found in, the digestive tract and the intestine, and so it absorbs nutrients just over the membrane of the proglottids, and so if it's just competing for nutrients for the host, for the fish, and the fish just can't get enough, and so eventually they become lethargic and probably just starve to death. So treatments were a little difficult to find for the Asian fish tapeworm. The major way we avoid other outbreaks is to prevent a spread. So, if it's found, then report it. Also, don't transfer fish species if you don't know if they're healthy or not. This is more related to hatchery fish. Also, like, yeah, if maybe, yeah, be careful if you are in doing anything with a known pond that has this parasite in it. Also, know your bait fish, because the bait fish were what was infected and what has transferred this parasite onto all but one continent. So yes, know what you're doing. And there's just been really little information on drugs like a dewormer. And I couldn't find any reliable information on that. So the biggest issue is to just be aware of where it's located and know your fish. So that's it for today. Thank you so much, and then hope you enjoyed.